start the countdown.
You are listening to the We Are Not Safe for Work podcast. Your hosts, Renee and Nadja, will dive into all the different reasons why some entrepreneurs become unemployable.
All righty.
I love that music.
I know, it's
love
so
that
fun.
music.
I want to like jam to it.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. So that thing about AI.
Yeah. So what is that
is-
thing about AI? Tell me all about this.
I don't know. I started
Okay.
watching a YouTube video
Okay.
and I started watching it and I was like, I'm gonna stop right now because I
Okay.
think we should watch this together and talk about it. So it could turn out to just be nothing because I didn't pre-vet it. Or
Sure.
it could be quite interesting. But I have a feeling interesting is going to be where it is. It's a 22-minute video. We'll probably only get about 3 minutes in before we just stop and start talking, is my
Sure.
guess.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work out, then we're going to talk about that thing about Reddit.
All right. Yes, that thing about Reddit. I
So
already
I'm
forgot about the whole Reddit conversation.
Well, I am so proud of myself because I
You did it? You signed up
prepared
for a, okay. Oh, you prepared. Okay.
slightly, and I do mean oh so slightly.
Uh-huh.
Hold on, I'm sharing our video to Facebook. Not that anybody in my Facebook cares, but let's find out.
You don't know that.
That's true. I don't, but I do have a good feeling. So I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay.
We're gonna watch this thing. It's this. Share sound. Share. Okay. So this is called he created ChatGPT. His next technology will change the internet. Sam Altman and World Team.
Altman. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So that's what it is.
I was gonna say
And
I think I know what this is about because I heard a little bit about what's going on with Sam Altman and the the AI, what is it? The AI frontier.
so I thought that this was going to be about something that I already knew about. This is
Okay.
my banana that I need to eat soon. So I'm going to use it as my pointer. But this is not at all what I thought.
Okay.
So that's why I paused it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, here we go.
By some estimations, up to half of all the activity on the internet is driven by bots.
We've already seen the damage that can be done by disinformation and misinformation over the years.
It's getting harder and harder to be able to tell who's human, who's not.
So the original idea came from Sam. The ability to assert personhood in a privacy-preserving way seems important.
If we don't build this very fast, internet will basically stop working.
I helped start a
That's very dramatic intro.
I was going to say that is super dramatic. That is a very strong statement to make, though, that the internet would stop working. And I know a lot of people probably think, okay, if the internet stops working, you know, whatever, that's not a big deal because they're thinking about it from the standpoint of streaming services like Netflix, HBO, you know, being able to access Google and things like that. But if the internet stops working, what about the Internet of Things? Like all the things that use
Can
internet
you get the Internet of Things to work at all for you?
control. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
would it work?
I don't know. Let's keep going.
Okay.
project called. I think we're seeing the need for better infrastructure for people and sort of accelerating people and letting them thrive in this new age of more powerful tools.
First of all, I love his shoes. They're so colorful and bright.
Yeah.
Than they've had before.
pitched me the idea, and but somehow we really clicked. We became friends pretty quickly. Well, so Sam really had this very broad direction of things to go into. There was no concrete plan. Something in the direction that will be interesting.
So we started this a long time ago with a belief that at the time seemed very unusual, which was that AI progress was about to go very rapid.
It seems very important and it seems very urgent to build financial and identity network that will work in the times of AI once it arrives.
You know, by some estimations, up to half of all the activity on the internet is driven by bots.
So that sounds terrible, right? I don't even think that's the point of this, but I know where the first couple of minutes of this is going. But that statement alone, when it's said, sounds awful, but also that's how it has to be, right? Because Google has bots that crawl your website to see if you published anything new.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Mediavine, our ad network, has bots that put ads on the sites. I mean, there's lots of bots doing lots of work. So to say that 50% of the activity is just bots, to me only makes sense.
Yeah. I mean,
so I
sure.
feel like I keep hearing that. And it sounds so dramatic, but I think it's about usefulness. So.
Well, okay, so it sounds dramatic, but again, and for people that have been listening to us for a while or know me at all, I will again claim definitions are important. Our definition of bots could be very different from the definition of a bot from everybody else. So
that's true.
When other people hear 50% of the activity on the internet is bots, all they're thinking about are like spammers.
Right. Social media comments, things like that.
Right. And see, we look at it from a different perspective and we think of bots as tools. Yes, spammers are part of it, but to us, bots are a tool that you use, not an entity, if that makes sense.
It does.
You know, like to people, bots are it's another being, it's another person, or not person. It's another being that creates activity or whatever. But for us, it's like, no, they're tools. Bots are a tool.
I think a lot of people, when they hear bots, they think of, I bet fake news immediately comes into their brains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's fair, because I do think that is a completely different thing. And that could be what they're talking about. Let's find out.
Okay.
So dramatic.
The problem that WorldCoin is solving is developing a protocol to enable people to prove that they're both human and unique. So when they're interacting online, they can differentiate themselves from an AI or a bot that's pretending to be a human. So it'll enable people to really prove their humanness through these online interactions. When in the future, as AGI becomes more and more prevalent, it's going to be impossible to actually distinguish who is an actual real human and what's an AI.
The most optimistic people, like Sam Altman, will tell you that it will probably arrive in 4 years or something like that. And the most pessimistic people cannot make case for it not arriving. They're just saying it will take 20 years or 25 years, which is still very, very fast on the scale of human history. And it seems like if we don't build this very fast, if we don't onboard at least 1 billion people to start with very fast,
I don't even know what he's talking about, but he just said onboard 1 billion people.
Yeah, no, that's what I heard too. And that kind of made me pause because I was like, what do you mean onboard 1 million people?
No, he said 1 billion.
Oh, billion, 1 billion people.
1 billion people.
That's a lot of people.
I don't know what he's talking about, but still, that's crazy. Okay, let's keep going.
But onboarding, that's like, okay, yeah, continue.
Yeah.
Internet will basically stop working.
What does WorldCoin do? It gives you like a digital passport on your phone that proves you are a unique human being and not a bot. And that World ID, that digital passport, is being used globally to build one of the fastest growing global networks, free of fraud, where everyone is a proven human and there are no bots.
So I grew up in Texas in the South,
Mm-hmm.
evangelical, and I can promise you that I don't feel like what I'm about to say, but I can promise you that people are going to say, "Oh my God, that's Mark of the Beast," which is
Yeah.
what they said about Social Security numbers, which is what they said about drivers,
Did they
so
really
many
say that
things.
about social security numbers?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's an individual identification number.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's true. I actually think this is very smart where this is headed, but it's really interesting. I heard something in, first of all, do you have any immediate thoughts to any of that?
No, not immediate thoughts.
Okay. I
More
heard
more
something,
questions, but I'm sure it'll talk about it later.
I think I mentioned on the show last, maybe even on Monday, that I had listened to the Joe Rogan Mark Zuckerberg interview.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in that, Joe Rogan brought up something that I thought was particularly interesting, and he brought it up to Zuckerberg. He said that you should be able to be anonymous on social media because let's say that you have a perspective and you want to make comments on something about that is controversial, but if you make it as yourself and you make enough people mad, they might basically dox you at your job and be like, how can you, we are not safe for work, employ someone that thinks this way and then put your job at risk because you had a thought. So it stifles free speech. So therefore, you should be able to anonymously leave comments.
Okay.
And I think that's interesting, and I think it's a fair point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, of course, Zuck said nothing to this whatsoever. He didn't respond to that at all because I'm
Sure.
sure that would be a really tricky thing for him to respond to publicly.
Right.
But it's a fair point because you shouldn't have to, in theory, you shouldn't have to be public with all of your thoughts. Now, 20 years ago, we'd have said we don't need to hear all your thoughts, right?
Right.
Which could also still be true. And if you're not courageous enough to say it out loud, then maybe you shouldn't be saying it in the first place. So that's one perspective. But
Yeah.
I also understand what Joe's point was, and I think it's an interesting situation that we're all dealing with this public internet shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you had a public ID, not a public ID, but an internet ID, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak, that could prove that you are who you are, I imagine that that could be very useful. But would it make everything public or would it allow things to be private, but the tools to know who you are? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's, I guess that's kind of my question too, because is that something that we would need to use, like you said, as proof, like for every single interaction, or is it just like on the back end kind of thing? Kind of like when you get a verified.
Well, here, I have a perfect example.
Okay.
Remember before we started recording and I said, hold on, I just got a phone call?
Yeah.
So, on my phone, and I'm sure I know this is true on your phone too, it started on Google phones, where you can get a voicemail and you can read it.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna read the first bit of this voicemail. Pulse 3 headset is being ordered from your Walmart account for an amount of $919.45. To cancel your order to connect with one of our customer support representatives, please press 1. This is Mary from Walmart, a pre-authorized purchase, a PlayStation 5, et cetera, et cetera. You can see where this is going, right? This is
Yeah.
obviously a scam
Mm-hmm.
that people get caught up in and they freak out, so they call the number back,
Right.
right? But I can't help but wonder if this kind of ID thing, that I had an ID that was certainly my private ID, that only people at Walmart, anybody else purchasing with my information at Walmart wouldn't be able to do that because it doesn't have my ID.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know where this is going,
Okay.
but I
Yeah.
can't help but wonder if it would help with things like this. Because obviously that's stupid. Nobody just spent $919 on my Walmart account. First of all, I don't even have one.
I was gonna say I don't have one, so.
Yeah. My wife does, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. This is
Okay.
obviously making me think about a lot of things. Should we keep going?
Yes, let's keep going.
When you are verified, this unbelievably sophisticated device designed by physicists in Germany and manufactured in Germany to be tamper-proof and highly sensitive, you only spend 30 seconds with this device, and yet it gives you something that could be valuable for your whole life.
This is the place when the first prototype of orbs was created, right?
This is it. This is what we call as the garage. This was the original workshop where the engineers developed the early technology for the orb, and today is more used as a repair center and refurbishment of the orb hardware that we fix from the various sites around the world.
My first thought is, what is it? There's a movie, right, where there's an orb and it talks to a guy named Dave. Like, what are you doing, Dave?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but that sounds interesting.
What is it? It's not Space Odyssey. What is it? I'll think of it later. I'm sure somebody else is screaming, going, I know what it is. And my brain's not working today. So, okay, continue.
So remind me that we're going to do a reading section.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Or media section. But an orb, what the hell?
Much time working for Apple, Facebook, Tesla's vice president working directly with Elon Musk, and now you are in WorldCoin. Which of these companies are the most futuristic?
I think in terms of futuristic, like it would certainly be WorldCoin.
Why that shape? Why the shape of ball?
So it's a very interesting question because with an engineering background, you want to think of something that's super efficient to make, easy to make. But from a design perspective, you want something that's attractive, that people recognize, that feels less intimidating. So we have an industrial designer, Thomas Meyerhofer, who helped design a lot of aspects around this. So,
I don't know. That's pretty intimidating to me because it looks like a big eyeball that is watching you in your home. But I don't know.
I just don't understand what it is.
Yeah, I don't understand what it is either. I don't know what it is. So, all right, let's continue.
Okay.
The angle that this retaining ring goes around is also meant to mirror the way that the Earth rotates, basically the equator of the Earth. So it's meant to feel familiar and something that's more approachable, whereas a box with its sharp...
Because you know what I think about when I am picking out my robots is how the Earth rotates. Because I'm so familiar with it.
Yes.
So familiar.
Mm-hmm.
What the
I don't know.
Sharp edges can be a little bit more intimidating. So maybe it's easier to make that, but this we felt was more attractive.
So this is the metaphor of air?
In a sense, yes. It's a lot of things. So, we're a global project, so we wanted some reference to the world, just like is in the name of the company. I don't need a lot of fancy tools. One thing that's very important for us, we've open sourced the orb. We want to build something that's capable of being decentralized. So we don't want to have a ton of tools that cost thousands of dollars that someone might need. When we look at this, there are groupings of how we talk about this. So we have the shells, the cosmetic parts that people look and care about. You have the optics module. This piece right here is the heart of the device and what makes it special and how it works. We have the chassis, basically everything that mounts it together, this structural ring, this body, the cooling system, and then we have our electronics. The main board PCBAs.
What is it?
We have a security board. One of the most difficult challenges to solve is validating that iris, getting a good enough iris image that we can actually scale to 8 billion plus people and make sure that we can cover the world. So this whole optics module is made up of a lot of special sensors, optical pathways, and making sure that we could get it right, that it works, time and time again reliably, was definitely the most difficult.
Why iris color?
There's so much entropy, so much difference from iris to iris, that you can basically reach this massive scale.
First was
So
we had
they're
to decide,
eyeballs.
well, what means are we going
Am I misunderstanding? It's literally an eyeball
It sounds like it's an eyeball scanner.
in the shape of an eyeball. Or I'm sorry, it's the shape of the
Shape
earth.
of Earth. Get it right, Nadja.
Okay. Yeah, I still don't know what it is. So let's continue.
I don't either.
because
I don't
I'm-
either. I'm very intrigued, but also starting to get bored.
Yeah.
So they better pick it up.
to use to determine proof of personhood? And we first of all decided it was going to be biometric in nature, right? So once we decided it was going to be biometric, then we had to look at the different types of biometric. So facial, fingerprint, iris, DNA. And the reality is that when you look at these as you scale to billions of users, but also to how they can be defrauded or how they might not match properly at scale, the best one that works over time is iris code. It's also currently the one that can be least susceptible to fraud. It also stands the test of time. Your iris doesn't change much.
So I just finished season 2 of Jack Reacher on Amazon Prime. And in Jack Reacher, this season, there was a guy that had someone's finger and one of their eyeballs in a jar of that liquid that preserves things so that he could break in over and over again to things.
Yeah.
So
the true crime junkie in me, what immediately thought about, are we with this type of technology being released, are we going to see an uptick in murders or schmurders
eyeball stealing?
where eyeballs are extracted?
Yeah. Yeah, you can see where
And
our
that's
brains
so
get.
morbid to think about. And surprisingly too, so we just watched what is it? It's a movie. It came out several years ago, in 2016. It was Miss Peregrine's School for Extraordinary Children or something or Unusual Children or whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So in that movie, there are monsters that's what they do. They take eyeballs.
Oh, okay.
So that's very interesting that we just watched that movie and now we're looking at this, and this video talks about using irises or eyes as identification for biometric security purposes and things like that. And then you just watched Reacher, where this guy's walking around with eyeballs and fingers in formaldehyde or whatever.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay.
All right, let's continue.
As you get older, so we think and believe that it will be the best over time. Slight modifications, but fingerprints, facial recognition, and DNA all have sort of drawbacks. And so that's how we landed on iris code.
So when you use your phone, let's say when you use Face ID on your iPhone, the only thing that the iPhone is trying to prove is that you're the same person again logging into your iPhone, right? So I'm again Alex, I'm using my phone. And so there's an embedding stored on that phone of this is how Alex looks like. Try to log in, a new embedding gets created, match to this previous one, and if that works, I can use my phone. Yeah. To build something like World ID, however, we need to compare one individual against everyone else. So it goes from 1 to 1 to 1 to n, 1 to many. And you can just essentially make a graph of all these different modalities that you just mentioned. So fingerprint, face, iris, DNA, palm veins, and you can just calculate how many people could you distinguish with each of them, how much information is in each of them. There's a lot of publications on that you can read, and essentially the only thing that would work for multi-billion people scale is either palm veins or the eye. These are the two things that would work. Of course, DNA would work too, but That's practically very hard to do. And we decided to go with the eyes because there's actually a lot of precedent around it. It's
So how does this
a
change the
technology that's
internet?
already used at scale by governments, for example. So for example,
I
in
still
India,
don't
you have something called
understand.
Aadhaar, where 1.2 billion people are enrolled with the same technology or very similar technology, older and therefore not as accurate, but similar technology. Many
Do we need
airports are using
additional
it. So
context
there was a
before-
precedent,
I'm starting
and
to wonder.
therefore
Let's skip
we
ahead a
watch
little and
this.
see if we
the-
can.
What does the
there was a
description
clear
say?
path. There was not that.
AI. And if you really want to nerd out, then you can talk about, multi-party computation, Merkle trees, advanced cryptography.
Okay, the description. Sam Altman, co-founder of the World Project, can you see this? Discusses a revolutionary technology designed to protect human authenticity in the age of artificial intelligence. Learn how the combination of AI and blockchain, have we discussed blockchain? It's changing the game in the digital world. Will the future of the internet belong solely to humans? What is the World Project and Tool for Humanity all about? I'd love to know. Who is behind it and what vision of the world do they bring?
Okay.
I still don't know. What the hell? Okay, we're going to start skipping around.
Okay, go ahead.
And all the thinking that went into this project. But most people
I don't think this guy knows
don't think
either.
about those things. So you can just say it knows nothing about you and never will. But for other people, it might be about the coin, the cryptocurrency, or it might be about wanting to game online with only humans and no bots, or have a conversation on a social network confident they're talking to a real person and not a North Korean bot farm. So it just depends.
Okay. So that's what I was thinking.
That
He
was
just
a
said,
very specific reference, though. A North Korean bot farm.
yeah, I know. I know. What about, those bot farms from Idaho?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
potatoes are people too.
Are they? Oh,
So
man.
I think what he just said is really interesting, though. If you want a game specifically against humans, first of all, are people gaming against AIs? Okay, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, because every time I play Civilization, it's just me playing against all of the AI countries, right?
Mhm.
So and the Raiders. Okay, so if you could use your Earth Ball to look into it and say, "I am me," now I'm gonna go play. What's a game? What's some game people play now? What is that game where you drop from the sky? It's so popular, everybody loves it. Where you shoot, shoot, shoot. What is
I
that?
don't know.
Starts with an F.
Starts with a what?
I think it starts with an F. It's like the most popular video game.
I'm not much of
I
a
don't
geek.
know. We're
I don't
gonna
know.
call it not just game.
Fallout?
And no, but
No.
that could be no. Again, everybody is screaming at us right now.
I know.
Um,
We're so sorry. We don't know
Yeah.
things. I mean, that should have been obvious from the beginning.
I
We
hope
know
so.
nothing about everything.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I want to play my game, and I want to play against humans so that I have a real chance. And so I'm only going to play against humans that I balled in with my Earth round.
That eyeballed it. Oh my God. Okay, continue. Sorry.
And so therefore, I also only want to see comments from on Facebook from humans that are eyeballed in to make a comment.
Okay.
I would love to live in that world, by the way. So that would be cool. Okay, here we go.
Obviously, you would know this in working on this project that we don't have any of the data. The project, when I say we, I'm talking about the WorldCoin project. The data is held by the individual.
Whatever.
It's in the data set, the only iris code that exists. It will send a copy of the face and the photo of the iris. We do a process where we identify, first of all, that you're a human, meaning, is this a cat or a dog? If it's not a cat or a dog,
Can
it's
I
actually a
eyeball in
human.
my dog?
We then go to step 2. We look at the iris and we assign it an iris code. And an iris code is a unique binary, 10111011, etc., that represents your iris. So it's a numerical abstraction of your iris, okay?
Convince me we don't live in the Matrix. Go.
Right? Yeah, I know.
Okay.
The only code, the only information that leaves the device and comes to us is that iris code.
I don't believe in
With
privacy.
crypto, they're moving out of Argentine pesos into coins all day long, versus a place like Japan or Korea where people are thinking more futuristically about the technology, or in Europe where people are thinking maybe more about their data.
Blah, blah.
I'm asking myself who win? Which approach win?
But I don't think an approach has to win. I actually think what's really good is that there is this tension between the two, because then you arrive in the middle, right? Like, it can't be all the data for all the value and sell all the data, or no business, right? Like, no, everything's private, you can't
We're
collect
supposed to
any
think
data,
this is very
because
exciting.
then we'd be at a deadlock, right? But when you have this tension with two regions
According to
pushing,
music,
one
yeah.
trying to go this way, one trying to go this way, you arrive in a middle. And that middle is
I
probably
wonder,
okay.
okay,
And I think that's quite healthy.
this and I'm not trying to be funny, but also I am. Are we just like too dumb to
I was about to say, I'm just
understand
not
this
smart enough for
concept?
this.
Yeah, like
I'm
we
not smart
just-
enough for this.
Yeah, this is way above my pay. And I consider myself pretty technically savvy, but the things that they're describing and the way they're describing it, and like it's all going over my head. And like you said, I'm at the point where I'm like, I have no idea of what this concept is, or I mean, like I understand it's biometrics using your eyes instead of like a fingerprint or your face, right? So
Sure.
I get that part, but the whole reasoning behind it, or even the technology behind it, that's the part where I'm just like, I don't know. And here
I
we
think
are.
we understand what it is, but
Teen-
we don't understand why. Can you hear the dogs?
No.
Okay. We don't understand why it is, and we don't understand how it's going to be used.
Well, so 15 and a half minutes into a 22-minute video, granted we've been skipping around or whatever, but 15 minutes into it, and I still don't care what it is.
Yeah, I know. So
I mean,
here's what I'm going to do.
I'm
Out of
curious
curiosity.
what it is, but I don't care about what it's going to do to change my life or how it's going to change my life. So,
All right, let's skip around a little bit to the end just to
Okay.
see, because I'm with you. So far, I really thought this was going to be interesting, but
it was interesting in the beginning, but I feel like it's
Yeah.
being dragged out. Like they could have explained it in 5 minutes or less.
I have a feeling, because what I think we should do as soon as we skip around to the end, is then open up a new tab and Google what is WorldCoin.
Okay, yeah.
Do you think that is a chance that you will disappear from Europe?
No, not at all. Quite to the contrary. We're actually planning and
It really shifting. This is obviously a discussion with the WorldCoin Foundation. The vision and the founder's vision
Wait.
has always been to be a network. And
A network?
Shifting to this is actually a better reflection of what the network has become. As it's evolved over time, it is a network that has many elements to it that come together, and the power of it is human beings, real human beings, being at the center.
Well,
It
he
isn't
accurately described a
calling
network.
it WorldCoin is actually a bit of a misnomer.
The Matrix.
Because it infers
Yeah.
that this is just a crypto project. When
That's something more.
it is definitely something more, because of the
So this guy
importance
doesn't know
of
either.
World ID, of
Okay.
identifying
I mean,
real
I don't
humanity
understand
on the
crypto
internet,
either.
being
I'm
able
just
to tell
gonna
humans from bots.
Put that
There's
out
an
there,
app that
and
gives
now I know
access.
everybody
There's a
has
blockchain.
is
We have
thinking
our,
that
the
these
WorldCoin.
chicks
Okay.
don't know anything.
Yeah, right. I don't know why you're watching this, to be honest, because we don't know anything. What is WorldCoin? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Oh, wait. WorldCoin orb. I just saw that pop up as a biometric scanning device. Well, why didn't we just ask AI in the first place?
Yeah.
A biometric scanning device that verifies a person's identity by scanning their irises. The orb is part of the WorldCoin project, which aims to create. I'm just reading this in case somebody's listening on audio.
Yeah.
The orb is part of the WorldCoin project, which aims to create a universal identity system for all people.
So basically, it's an ID card. Like it's like a driver or not a driver's license, but like a state ID or a passport. And I
Yeah,
think
like
they
a
mentioned
passport.
passport before. Yeah, it's like your individual passport to the internet.
Orb is the first token on World Chain, distributed equally to every human. Every human can claim 1,000 orb once in their lifetime. Claims are open forever and never expire. Universal, universal distribution powered by World ID, one token for every human. Orb is an independent project and is not affiliated with Tools for Humanity or the World Coin Foundation.
Okay, but what is okay? So you can claim 1,000 orb once in your lifetime. Claims are open forever. But what
Sounds like a video game.
it sounds honestly, it sounds like AI generated. Like
It sounds, you know what it sounds like? Okay,
what?
knowing that Sam Altman is involved, and one of the things that Sam Altman talks about a lot is how because AI is about to take over the world, we need to come up with a universal basic income.
Mm-hmm.
So when he said that we can claim 1,000 orb, it almost makes me think that this is how we're going to pay for things in his new world.
But it's not currency.
Are you sure?
So 1,000 orb is the max that you can have?
I think so.
Okay, but what do you do with it?
What is world? Well, I don't know because I'm not smart.
So confused. Okay, if you are watching this right now and
And you know, please tell us.
please tell us. We're so confused. Like I feel really stupid right now.
I mean, this is maybe the
Just-
dumbest I have ever felt.
I don't understand.
Wait, here we go. People also ask. See, this is the beauty of Google. What is WorldCoin used for?
Okay. Yes, please tell me, enlighten me. I want to know.
It doesn't help. It aims to provide a reliable way to verify people online. How much is one WorldCoin worth? The current price of WorldCoin is 2.06 wild.
I I don't know.
What is okay, hold on. What is Tools for Humanity? Global tech company focused on developing software and hardware tools that utilize blockchain and digital identity technologies. That makes a slight bit more sense.
Okay.
Wait. Primarily known for creating the WorldCoin cryptocurrency, which involves scanning people's irises to verify their identity and distribute digital currency. So is it going to replace PayPal?
Oh,
Okay, wait.
will it?
Wait. So, you know how in some of those sci-fi movies where people pay for things with their eyeball?
Okay.
Have you ever seen
I
that?
mean, basically like what we can do with our phones right now. So right now,
Right.
our biometric wallet is our phone because you can
Yeah.
tap to pay.
Yeah. So this actually sounds a little freaky because if Tools for Humanity is building the item that scans your eyeball in association with the World Coin, which is the Bitcoin, why are there so many Bitcoins?
I don't know.
I don't know. Or maybe Bitcoin's not even that word. So many digital currencies. So this is the tool that would help you access your digital currency. Well, that's terrifying. When you see this, Nadja, do you think of the Earth's rotation
I do
and
not.
angle?
Like I said, I think of freaking Space Odyssey and the Hal that goes, "What are you doing, Dave?"
Yeah. I don't understand. So my big takeaway is that I don't have a clue.
Well, here, I just I just
Oh,
posted on
please.
Facebook. We are so confused on this live video. Can anyone explain what WorldCoin or WorldCoin Orb is to us like we're five?
Yes. Okay. All right, let's do this again. Explain what is WorldCoin.
WorldCoin is a cryptocurrency initiative, okay?
That combines AI technologies with blockchain to reshape the way we think about both identity and global transactions. How it works. People visit an orb center and have their irises scanned by a spherical device called the orb. The orb collects biometric data and generates a unique digital identity called World ID. People
Okay.
receive a crypto wallet and world coin tokens. People can
Okay.
use the WLD, okay,
The
tokens to make
tokens.
payments, transfers, and purchases.
Okay. So
What are the
it's like
concerns? That's interesting.
it's
I'm
like a
sorry, go ahead.
bank account?
I
So is
guess
that why
so.
they're saying you can have up to 1,000 or whatever in your lifetime?
I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we're not meant to understand it right now. Maybe
Yeah.
this is one of
Yeah, I
those.
think you're right.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the reason that I said earlier that I thought I knew what this was about is because there was something about oh my gosh, what is it? See, my brain is just like stuck on this world orb and trying to
Hmm.
understand what it is that I can't like put my thoughts together. So it was specifically okay, Sam Altman, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sam Altman, where was it? Um, it's something about like an initiative. What's today? Today's the 23rd, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was something specific about like there's a $500 billion oh
Oh, the
here it
AI.
is. Okay, so
Yeah.
um Sam Altman of OpenAI, Chairman and Chief Technology Officer, Larry Ellison of Oracle, Chief Executive Officer, Masayoshi Son of SoftBank. Okay, they were there's an event with all, or there was an event with all of those
Yesterday, right?
people. Yeah. And it was talking about rolling out a $500 billion investment in artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm. I actually know about this.
Okay.
Keep going
So,
though.
so it says, it doesn't specify what it was for, though. It was just talking about the that
So
there was a $500 billion investment in artificial intelligence.
yeah, so what it is, I actually know what this is, because that's how I ended up here, was I was
Oh,
watching
okay,
some
okay.
videos to learn about this. So what this is, President Donald Trump um, said, held a news conference with those people that you just mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
and with an $500 billion AI infrastructure
Okay.
announcement. And what it's about is that they need to do two things. They need to build much bigger warehouses of computers to run the AI. And
Okay.
also, we have a power grid problem where the AI is going to require so much power, so much more than we currently generate. So it's an infrastructure bill to build more power and data centers. So we need the
Okay.
power to run the data centers, and we need the data centers. And that's what it was.
Okay.
And Elon Musk, there's drama because Elon Musk was
Yeah.
saying, we don't have enough money. Nobody has enough money to do this. The money's not actually there.
Yeah.
We don't have a way to pay for it. And Sam Altman's like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
We already have the money. And so they're battling back and forth, which is funny because Musk is part of the Trump team. So you would think that
Doge.
he would know this. Right, exactly. But him and Sam Altman are obviously suing each other left and right and
I was
having all
gonna
these
say that
fallouts. So
aren't they in litigation or something?
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah.
which I'm sure Elon's mad about because Elon is creating his competitive AI platform to
Right.
OpenAI,
Yeah.
right? And Elon, as far as I know, I don't think Elon was on stage for that announcement.
I don't
So
think so.
yeah, I don't think so either. And so I think that's so much drama. But what the announcement was about was AI infrastructure, but it's really about power and data centers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know how that's an economic initiative for us, but it sounds really good for the people who create AI.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that's what that was.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So WorldCoin is just a cryptocurrency.
Okay. I
And the
mean,
iris scanner or thing is just a pretty way to access your. I guess it's created for people because I keep hearing stories of people who have lost the password to their crypto wallet
mm-hmm.
and can't access their money.
Right.
So if you had an iris scan, you wouldn't have that problem anymore. Which, by the way, I love the idea of iris scans instead of passwords. I will say that.
Okay.
Well, because last night I wanted to watch Hulu,
Mm-hmm.
but couldn't find the password. And then trying to tap in the password, reset the password at my computer, then go back to my TV and type in the password on my TV with that stupid remote where you got to
Oh, mm-hmm.
over,
Yep.
up, hit the uppercase. Oh crap. And it doesn't show you. So did I pass it? Did I type it?
Yeah.
It's so annoying. Just know it's me. Just know it's me.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I guess my question and my hesitancy about the whole iris scanning thing is we've already got this step in place, right? For people who travel frequently, uh, like I have a Clear account.
Right. Yeah.
So Clear is biometric identification. So I can go up and it can do the same thing, like an iris scan, and it confirms my identity. But the thing is, Clear is a private company.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is a private company that has my biometric information.
Mm.
That's my irises and my fingerprints. Now, granted, the government has my biometric information, which are my fingerprints, because every time I renewed my green card, I had to go in for biometric updates. So like
Oh,
scan my
yeah.
fingerprints, do the iris thing just to make sure that I am who I say I am.
Mm-hmm.
So is this supposed to be like the centralized biometric storage center or identifier or whatever? Like it reminds me of when everything went to digital streaming or digital rights. There were so many different companies. Like there was Voodoo and like Movies Anywhere and
Oh, sure. Yeah.
what is it, Fandango or whatever. Like you had all these different places where you could create an account and you could redeem your digital license for a movie, right?
Right.
Okay. Or your digital copy. And then because it was in all different places and some studios only partnered with some companies, then it became really confusing because now you have all of your movies in all these different accounts that you have to remember the password for. So then it became centralized, like everything merged.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can only do it in one place. which is the movies anywhere slash voodoo, whatever it is. I can't remember what it is.
I have no idea.
Um, but like, is that what they're trying to do? Like consolidate who controls the actual, like, I don't know, authorization of biometric identification? Is that what they're trying to do?
I think so. It sounds like it. But to your point, nobody's going to adopt a single method.
Yeah, no.
So, um, I love the idea of having an online identifier for things so that we wouldn't have the situation like I just got with my text message from, this Walmart scam.
Yeah.
I think things like this Walmart scam are a big deal. Like the other day, Andy, we love Cotopaxi is a brand that we love. And we've been big fans of this brand for a long time.
Okay.
Now it's kind of gotten popular, but she saw a sale the other day after Christmas sale for 80% off Cotopaxi. And it looked so genuine and real that it fooled her. And she didn't buy anything, thank God, but she was really close.
Okay.
But she was like, man, I don't know. And she noticed that the website was cotopaxistar.com.
Okay.
And but it was a legitimate ad, so it was like I think a Facebook ad that she clicked on. So everything about it seemed so legit. But she started looking at it and she was like, something's not right. And
Yeah.
so then she looked a little closer, but they're getting so good at fooling us,
Yeah.
And that's someone who's tech savvy.
Mm-hmm.
And so we definitely need to come up with some kind of way to legitimize things online
Sure.
as more AI comes online. And I appreciate all of the things that Sam Altman is doing to try and solve the problems that he sees coming. Um, but I can't help but think, you have to also keep in mind he's a billionaire. So what is his self-serving thing in all this too? And building a tool to sell to all of us, which is, some Earth eyeball scanner. If you're going to give them to us, we're also going to be skeptical of that. If you're going to sell them to us, we're definitely going to be skeptical.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's very interesting. And I
It
understand
is.
that there's going to be a lot of technological changes and different ways that, we move about the world as
Mm-hmm.
technology changes.
Mm-hmm.
And the adjustments are going to be weird and uncomfortable because we're not used to it. But if we don't make these changes and shifts now, then what is going to happen? Like, you don't want to be trying to fit I hate saying the round peg in a square hole, because I don't know if you've seen those videos where the babies have figured out that you can make that work, like the shape that it's not
Oh,
supposed
no.
to be.
No, I haven't seen that, but
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, it's basically like, okay, you're trying to fit this old concept into a new technology, or an
Yeah.
old understanding into a new technology, and then like trying to force that to work together, it never works out well. So I understand their willingness to try to get ahead of that, and
Mm-hmm.
they're putting together these ideas now. Now, granted, like this could be iteration 1,
Sure.
and by the time everything gets caught up and they figure out, oh, this is actually we're looking at iteration AC.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
you like how I went from a number to
Yeah.
a
Kind of like last night when I was texting you. Thing number one, thing number two, thing number 745.
Yeah, okay. I was very confused about that, but also I
Yeah.
was like, no, it's fine. I get where she's going with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it progresses. I would really love if somebody could have or I would have loved if somebody could have broken it down and explained like I was 5 earlier in the conversation, because, at this
Sure.
point, I'm like, okay, I do understand the simplistic concept. I
Yeah.
I still am
And
having trouble wrapping my head around the whole you can claim up to 1,000 in your lifetime thing, because it's like, okay, but why? Why is that limited?
well, I think the reason, knowing very, very little and understanding crypto none at all, beyond what I'm about to say, um, I think the whole point of crypto is to, because one of the complaints of people who are rich is, I say complaints of people who are rich because I just don't know enough about money because I'm too poor. Um,
You and me both.
yeah.
We're
Um,
too dumb, and we are too poor.
yeah, I guess we need Jason Brown in this conversation. Um, so
JB.
yeah. So, um, one of the complaints of people that have money about money is when the government keeps printing more money and devaluing the money.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a limit on how many coins. Apparently, the whole draw of the cryptocurrency is for whichever coin you're looking at, is there's a limit to how many coins can ever be created.
Right.
So therefore, there is a top line value of the coin, but that doesn't make sense to me because then you hear these stories of like crypto is now at um one coin is worth $100,000, and I'm like, well then what? I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand how all that works, and that is just pure ignorance on my part.
Yeah.
But I think his whole thing is you get 1,000 if everybody gets the same amount of coins. And there can never be more coins made, which is
Right.
hilarious to consider. It's all digital, so it's all made up
Yeah, I
anyway.
know, right? Yeah.
Um, then what you spend the coins on is the thing. I don't know. I don't understand. So I do know that Sam Altman is very concerned about this problem.
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, because it's something that they're investing so much money into it, and they're raising capital for it. And again, the number $500 billion sticks out, or million billion. What did I say? Um, did I say billion or million?
I think you said billion.
I did say billion, right? Anyways, I don't remember. So just the fact that's a lot of money. Like that's so much money that it's difficult to conceptualize. Like we as everyday, you know, plebes,
Yes.
we plebes do not understand the concept. Like we understand thousands, we understand tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, we even understand million, right?
Sure.
But when you start going into the billions and trillions, like the concept of that is just so far beyond our comprehension that anytime I see a visualization of here is a billion compared to a million, it always blows my mind every single time. And I'm just like, I mean, I know this, but also what?
I
So in my head, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around oh, we're raising $500 billion in capital to be able to do this thing. And you just
yeah.
have to wonder, okay, well, is there even that much actual money in the world that's backed by something real? Or is this all just
Printed
ones and
money.
zeros and,
Yeah.
you
So that's the
know,
thing. To me, it's all made up at this point. I mean, okay.
yeah, it's all
First
made
of
up.
all,
Nothing is real. We do live in the Matrix.
right. First of all, are we able to pause live?
No.
I have got to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
So,
this is a good spot to go ahead and like end the live and then see if we can continue conversations like in the comments or
I
email
think
us?
I have an idea. I think on our Facebook page, we should both put in what we're reading on our Facebook page
Okay.
currently, what we're reading. Because I did pick a fiction book for myself.
Wait, on our personal Facebook page or
No, no,
on
no,
the
on
NS?
the
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
On our
the
We Are Not
NSFW.
Safe for Work. Yes.
Right. And then also, what if we put a couple of the links to things we referenced here on the
Sure.
Facebook page?
Absolutely. Let's
And
do
then
that.
if anybody has any ideas about this, they could
Or
respond
explain
back.
like we're five. Like
Exactly.
really dumb
Yeah.
it down for me.
Right. Then
I
you
want
could,
to understand.
yeah. So go to our Facebook page, which she'll put a link to that in this. And we're going
Yes.
to each put what we're reading and we're going to share a Reddit thread. Not, we'll do multiple conversations.
Right, right.
I think we should each also put something, a Reddit thread or Reddit subreddit that we like.
Okay. So
Okay.
a subreddit that we like, not necessarily something that's from that subreddit, just here's a subreddit that I find
That's right.
interesting. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Okay.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. Thanks everyone for joining our very confusing live.
Very confusing.
If
That
you
was-
have made it this far, then
God bless you.
more power to you. Like, let me know because I want to give you like a virtual sticker. Here's your gold star.
That's right. And also, if you made it this far and you understood it better than we did, please go to our Facebook page and give us your
Yes.
ideas.
Or here on YouTube, put it in a
Sure.
comment.
YouTube
Yeah.
comments are great.
Yes.
So.
Thank you, everyone.